Kevin Hunter and Jeff O'Brien here on the Business Forum Show. And if you have not thought out a business plan in your organization, we're going to talk about why that might be a little bit of a problem. But actually, this is one of the common mistakes that business people make, is a failure to adopt a well thought out business plan. Why is that?
I don't know. I've been working with startup businesses for a long time now. And you wouldn't think, why is the attorney getting involved, and why does the attorney even care about the business plan? But I'm a big believer in them, because it's, if you look at what the elements of a business plan are, it really makes you think everything, all aspects of the business you're going to be starting, as well as the industry you're going to be into, because you're going to be looking at marketing strategies, competitive analysis, exit strategy, all these different things, and that really makes you think a little bit more long term as opposed to just in the moment. And I think that's why a business plan is a well crafted business plan. It doesn't have to be 300 pages either. I have seen some that are quite substantial and are very good, but I've also seen some smaller ones that are very good as well.
So as far as all the elements that you take into consideration, this is one thing that I noticed with a business owner that I visited with here in the past month. She was opening a spa, and she had gotten financing for the equipment she had in the place, did a build out on it, all the office equipment, everything else that she had to get. And so probably something a little bit less than $250,000, but still a nice sizable chunk for a sole proprietor to invest. And she had put together a business plan that she brought to a bank to get the financing. But interestingly enough, not included in the business plan is actually any kind of a marketing plan. How do we plan to get customers in the door? And I'm sitting there thinking, how did the bank ever come around to borrowing this person money without having any kind of a plan on how to generate revenue to begin with?
Yeah, it's kind of key as to what the marketing strategy is. And if you go, the Small Business Administration website has a really good kind of a step-by-step analysis as to the elements of a business plan, and it's worth checking out. And in my work, everybody's you're probably asking, why does the attorney even care about the business plan? Well, number one, we want clients that are with us a long time, so we want clients that are thinking long term. But like, for example, my brewery practice, working with these different breweries and distilleries, there's a lot of different models that breweries can follow these days, especially in Minnesota, in terms of their size and scope. They may some of them may want to do, a big operation with bottles, cans, kegs, all that. Some of them want to just take advantage of the taproom law and have a tap room and sell growlers. And that affects the advice I give them in terms of, how much money do you need for it? Do we have to raise money from investors, which means securities law issues and compliance issues, which raises the price tag on everything. It affects the type of space that you're going to lease. It affects what kind of things we're going to ask for the landlord in the lease negotiations in terms of improvements. It really affects a lot of things. Just that little decision as to, are we going big? Are we going smaller? And that's the kind of thing that you have in your business plan. And that's why when I'm working with these clients, I see the business plan about the first week of my engagement, so I can see what the overall plan is, and that helps me as their advisor craft appropriate advice for them.
So when do you think is a good time for somebody to engage with you with regard to their business plan? Is it in the beginning before they've even thought about that, or do you prefer to see somebody who has actually gone through, and whether they used a little bit of DIY advice or whatever else, but have a starting framework of something? Is it better for you to get involved then, or to get involved at the beginning when they're thinking about the business plan?
I like to get involved when they're thinking about when they're working on the business plan. If they have any questions, okay, if they know what they're doing, if this is if they can put together their own business plan on their own, cool. I'll take a look at it when it's done. A lot of folks though they come to me when they're still in that stage of writing it, and I'm fine with that. And even if it means writing off a little time to help them kind of get them to the point where they're ready to launch, I'm okay with that. and I'm a big believer in that the business owner has to take ownership of the business plan. They can go to somebody if they that has more expertise in writing them to help them with it, to help them write it, but they can't just pay somebody to write a business plan for them and not and start going with it.
Yeah.
You have to know what's in it. You have to know. I mean, you have to have yourself as part of it.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's a business plan to me is almost akin to it's a living, breathing document, right? It's not an instruction manual. It's not follow these steps and you get this result.
Yeah.
You have to be involved with it intimately in its creation, or you're not going to be. No matter how much you pay, you're not going to have success.
So kind of in a general sense, a business plan that you could put your stamp of approval on, what are some basic elements they have to include?
Like I said, a description of the business, a description of the key personnel, what the sales strategy is, what the marketing strategy is, a competitive analysis, what else is out there, how are you going to differentiate yourself from it, a budget, where you're going to locate. All those little details should be in the business plan.
And for those people who figure, we talk about this all the time about DIY equaling SOL, but as long as if somebody starts down the pathway of a place like LegalZoom or whomever, if they at least get an attorney involved and get some good legal advice, substituting research for legal advice is never a recommended thing. But doing the research isn't a bad thing to get started, to get things rolling. And you're just saying, hey, get me involved before you actually implement this.
Yeah, no, a business plan is a classic. Is absolutely you want DIY because you as a business owner have to be involved with it. But not as many business owners think of going to their outside advisors early on as they're writing the plan, and that coming to me, I can help shed some light on some things as they're writing the plan. So it's overlooked that you wouldn't that you can go to your attorney to get some input that's going to help you create that business plan.
Absolutely. Kevin Hunter and Jeff O'Brien here on the Business Forum Show talking about a business plan, the importance of it in your organization. And as Jeff suggests, go out and do a little of your homework. First, get yourself involved and make that document a reflection of yourself, and then get legal advice before you implement it in your business. Again, Kevin Hunter with Jeff O'Brien here on the Business